You know what's the worst thing to do? The worst thing to do is to satisfy women's desires. Adam did that. I want us to have a real talk. My name is Lad. Let's get to it. Start telling the truth if you want to see how many people are going to stick around. Each time you get to a church, whenever you're at church, you get to hear this teaching about in God's time things shall happen. God's time is always right. Your situations are not there to stay forever. And all those kind of stuff. You know, the kind of teaching that makes people expect things from God. But pastors, when are you going to teach these people how to live for God? When are you going to teach these people how to live the word of the Lord? When are you going to tell them how to behave? When are you going to do that? Because all the time, everything that you say in churches is your situation shall come to pass. Your problems, your promotions, your cars and everything like that. When are you going to teach these people how to live for the Lord? When are you going to do that? When are you going to take your time to teach people the real side of Jesus, who Jesus Christ is? When are you going to do that? Just because you're praying for a car and you're praying for a job does not mean that it comes from God. Devil has those things too. That's why the devil worshippers are rich. Do you understand? But do you know who you're expecting things from? Do you know that? That's my question to you, pastors. When are you going to teach people how to live for the Lord? There's public holidays that we're celebrating. More like Easter. People don't know what Easter is. You take your time and you preach that in church, telling people that Jesus Christ was crucified on that day, on that very weekend. You teach that in church. Who said Jesus Christ was crucified on that day? Do you even know the meaning of Easter? Do you know who Easter is? Do you know do you know how the purple color came into the Easter day? Do you know how the rabbit came into the Easter day? Do you know about the eggs, how they came into those things? And then there you are, a church, you preaching that Jesus Christ was crucified on that day. Now it's December. People are going to be celebrating what's so-called Christmas. And you're going to be teaching that in churches. Oh, Jesus Christ was born on this day. Who said Jesus Christ was born on the 25th of December? You will not know because you don't teach the word of the Lord. You're teaching people to expect things from God. You're not teaching them how to live for the Lord. You're not teaching them to know who Jesus Christ is. Jesus Christ was crucified on the 25th of December. That's what you need to know. That is why it is presented in red. That red means blood. That white on the clothes represent flesh. And that tree you put in your house saying it's a Christmas tree, it is a tree that represents, the time where people were forced to hang themselves on the tree just because they didn't want to follow Easter's law. So now you are there teaching people that Jesus Christ was born on that day. I'm not surprised that you don't know because they have been teaching that for ages. They've been teaching you that you need to expect things from God all the time. That's what you guys teach. So you're continuing with it. You're teaching your children about it. But you don't teach people. You don't know who is it that you're expecting things from. Otherwise, if you knew, you would know you will know about these days. You will know how to behave. Women today are going into churches with the makeup looking all fake, without covering their head, looking all fake. And all they can ever say is, we don't live under the law anymore. It's not a law if it is said by Jesus. If Jesus said that, then who are you? When are you going to teach these people the truth? When are you going to teach the people how to live for the Lord? When are you going to teach people who Jesus Christ is? When are you going to do that? Take your time to teach these people. When are you going to do that? Today the government is doing what's so-called gender equalities. And you get those things, you put them in church. That behavior, you put it in church. You know what's the worst thing to do? The worst thing to do is to satisfy women's desires. Adam did that. That's why we are where we are today. Because of Adam satisfying women's desires, listening to a woman. Now, these women made a request that they want what's so-called 50-50 equality, right? You gave it to them. You even do that in church. Today, women are preaching in church. And when you say something about it, they say, no, in this time, we're not living under the rules. If it is Jesus who said women should not preach in church, then how is it a rule? How is it a law if Jesus said that? You don't teach these people the truth. All you ever teach about is how women should behave in their homes, how they should disrespect their men, how they should fight for their 50-50, how to divorce. That's all you're teaching. You're teaching these things like promotions. Be careful what you teach the people. Every time we go to a church, we hear the same thing. How to expect things from God. But when are you going to truly live for Christ? Let's be real. When are you going to look like the child of God? He said the body represents God, while the spirit is working for the Lord. Now, if you're doing anything on your face and on your body, just because the world is telling you, you get the freedom to that. What makes you think that you're working for the Lord if you are not representing Him well with your body? Let's talk. Pastors, do the right thing.